All right, so first, I have a lot of stuff to go through with you today. So let's first go to the agenda that I emailed you guys. This is really the only class where we've got a pretty heavy agenda. So here, introduction, welcome. Oh, okay. So I forgot to do something. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to call your name and I'm going to give you a letter of the alphabet. And what I need you to do is I need you to write that letter down in your notes and don't lose it, because that letter, which has nothing to do with your name, is going to tell you when you give your speeches, which days you're going to give your speeches. So I forgot to do that as I was giving roll. So I'm going to do that right now. So please write down your letter of the alphabet, and later in the class, you will see exactly what exactly that means. Okay, so Isabella, your letter G. Natalie, your letter I. Gabriella, your letter J. Adrian, your letter K. Ariana, your letter L. Stella, your letter M is in Mary. Sebastian, your letter N is in Nancy. Maya, your letter O. Yana, your letter P. Jenna, your letter Q. Juliet, your letter S. Lisette, your letter T. Morgan, your letter U. Crystal, your letter V for victory. Ashley, your letter W. Rodrigo, your letter X. Umberto, your letter Y. And Terrence, you are letter Z. So everyone got that, yes? Good. Don't forget the letters ever. You're going to need them all semester. That's your letter for, it doesn't change. It's the same for the entire semester. Okay. Once we get onto the Canvas page, I'm going to talk to you about IRT, and they are the technical people on the campus. And these are people you go to if you have any kind of technical issues of any kind. And it's really important that you're aware of them and know how to contact them in case you need any technical help of any kind. We're going to go through the syllabus, and the class schedule is at the end of the syllabus. And I did email all of you the syllabus ahead of time. Then we're going to go through your e-text, your textbook that is required for the class. And then you're going to have some homework for next week. The homework is you need to buy the e-text. That's one. You also need to prepare. You're going to give a little speech next week. It's an introductory speech. It is not graded, but all of you are going to be giving this speech. And it's a great way to do this before you're actually graded for your speeches. It's a way to kind of get the first nerves out without being graded, okay? And then before I let you go today, you guys are going to choose a buddy, and you're going to exchange contact information with your buddy. And this will be your buddy for the whole class. You're going to give them your name, your email address, and your phone number. And the buddy is going to help you through the class. If, let's say, you're going to be late for some reason, you tell the buddy tells me. Or if you miss a class and you have a question, you would ask your buddy. It's just a really good thing to have in the class. So let's really quick for next week. Everybody's going to give an introductory speech. And these speeches are only maybe 1 to 2 minutes long each. So no notes. I mean, you can have notes if you want, but no, you don't have to hand in anything to me whatsoever. This is a pretty casual speech. So in this speech, you're first going to go over right here in the outline for it. You're going to tell us about your past. Where do you come from? Where have you lived? Where did you go to high school? If you're older and you're not a freshman and you've gone to other colleges, let us know that. And if you are involved with any clubs or sports or jobs of any kind. The second part of the speech is your present, what's happening with you right now. So you're going to let us know what year you are at CSUS. Are you a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior? And then let us know your major, if you have a major. And if you don't have a major yet, let us know which majors that you're interested in, possibly. The last part of this short speech is going to be about your future, and it's about what you hope your future is going to be or how you see your future. And so after you graduate, what are your plans for your career and what are your plans for your personal life? Are you going to plan to go to grad school? Are you going to travel the world and then go to grad school? Are you going to get a job right away? That kind of thing. So any questions about the introductory speech, please don't be shy, just ask me. So once everybody gives this speech next week, I will also give the introductory speech about me to you, just so you know more about me as well. And it's a wonderful thing because we all get to know each other a lot better, and it's really nice. Okay, and then there's another assignment that you need to do that's ungraded, but it's fun. And that is the discussion board assignment. And so on Canvas, I'll be showing you in a second, there is a link that says discussion board assignment. And what you need to do on that is to give us a link to your favorite YouTuber or TikToker. Because when I give you lecture 2 delivery, at the end of that, we're going to go through as many of the videos as we can and look at your favorite YouTubers or TikTokers. And we're going to analyze their public speaking techniques. Okay, so this should be fun. It's not graded. Also, I want you to reply to your classmates' posts if you can, just so we have a little bit of interaction going on. So any questions about Agenda 1, which does live on Canvas, so you can always look at it? Any questions about this document? Please ask me, don't chat to me, because this is not introduction to writing chats, right? This is introduction to public speaking. No, no Spanish. All the speeches have to be in English. I did study Spanish for 4 years, but this is not a Spanish class. So it has to be in English. That being said, I have never marked someone off for a language issue. If English is your second language, I've never marked people off for that. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for your speech techniques, not an accent or anything like that. So don't worry about that. All right, so let's go now to the Canvas class. So I will show you our Canvas. Okay, so if you go to modules here, this is the way I have set it up to lay out for you. And so the first thing we have up here on the top is the syllabus, which I will be going over next. But here's where you click to get your syllabus. I want to tell you that you should save a version of the syllabus for yourself in case you can't get to this link for technical reasons. So I printed a hard copy of mine out just in case I need to look at it wherever I am and I'm not near internet. I have this. You're going to need to look at it all the time because your class schedule is in it, and you need to know every single week what you're supposed to be doing for your homework and all of that. So at the very least, save a copy onto your hard drive. But if I were you, I would do that and print it out just so you have it whenever you need it, no questions asked. Here is the discussion board assignment I was telling you about. If you click on that, you'll see I put the first post up. So just post your favorite talent on video, YouTube, TikTok. And then these next 2 are the first 2 lectures I'm going to be giving you starting next week. These are the basic 2 lectures that'll get you all ready to start doing the graded speeches, okay? But I'll be going over those with you, but I put them up top here. Just so if you need to refer to them after I present them to you, you'll always have them. This is a link to your online textbook, which I'm also going to show you a little later. This is important. This is a link, like I said, IRT, the technical people. So let's say you are trying to upload a document to Canvas to turn it in and you're having troubles. You can contact IRT and they will help you out, walk you through it, tell you what you're doing wrong. If we stay on Zoom for any amount of time and you're having issues with your internet or anything like that, they can help you with that. The next link here is a link to the library site, the Research OneSearch. And you're going to be doing a lot of research for this class, and I'll be going over how to do that, but this is a convenient link to get to that. And then you're going to have to be citing sources and writing works cited, which are like bibliographies. And you're going to need to put all your citations into the MLA style. So this link here is a link to that basically is a resource for the MLA style guide. And then this here is what we just went over before agenda week 1 document, in case you want to look at the requirements for the introductory speech or anything else I went over. It's right there for you. Any questions so far? Okay.
Yeah, I have one question.
Sure.
You're gonna go into detail on how to purchase the online textbook, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
in the syllabus. Yeah, we'll do that. No problem.
Okay.
Okay, so this is just my first step. So the next one are sample outlines. Outlines are really, really important in this class. And, oh, you know what? What is up here? They're not showing. Give me a second. That's crazy. Huh. All right. I have to work on this. There's supposed to be 3 outlines here, and for some reason there are not. And there were last week. So there will be 3 outlines under here. 1 for each of the major speeches. There's sample outlines, perfect outlines. And I'm going to be going over those in a lot of detail with you this semester to help you get your outlines in good shape. I'm really sorry they're not here, and I'm shocked because they were. Okay, and then I have a module for each of the 3 graded speeches. And so the first graded speech, next week is not a graded speech, but shortly thereafter, we're going to be doing the first graded speech, which is the how-to speech. So the assignment sheet is here. That's for you to look at the requirements. And I'll be going over that with you, but this is where the requirements are. This link is where I grade your actual speech itself. And I have a built-in rubric in there, and I go through the rubric to grade each of your speeches. So you'll get your speech grades right here on this link. This link is where you upload your how to outline and works cited document on this link. And then after you do your how to speech, you're going to do a very short self-evaluation paper number 1, and you will upload it to this link. And what I mean by upload it is if you click, mine will look different than yours because I'm in professor mode. It's going to say submit up here instead of published. And you'll be able to, you just click submit and then you upload your document and make sure it says submitted because it gets freaky and sometimes it takes away your document. Okay, so then here's the second speech, graded speech, which is the informative speech. And so this again is the assignment sheet of the requirements. This is where I'm going to be grading your speech on a rubric. This is where you're going to upload your informative outline and works cited document. And after you do your informative speech, you're going to be writing an evaluation paper on your buddy's speech. And you'll be getting your buddy before you leave today. And then we have speech 3, which is the biggie. That's the last speech. And that is, one second. Okay, that's the persuasive speech. So here's the assignment sheet. Here's where I'm going to grade your speech on a rubric. Here's where you upload your outline. You're going to have 2 outlines and a works cited for this one. And by the way, in each of these links, there are rubrics as well for the outlines, and that's where I grade those. And then you'll do a second self-evaluation paper after your persuasive speech. So then here are the exams. Now you don't take the exams here. You're going to take your 2, you only have 2 exams. There's a unit 1 exam after unit 1 in the textbook, which hits at when you're done doing your how-to speech. And then during finals week, you're going to have a final exam. But these are just reminders that you have these exams. They're not taken in this location. They're taken inside of your e-text that you're going to buy this week. Okay. And at the bottom here are some lectures and information for you to be always able to look at. So we've got, this is lecture 1, lecture 2. I had put those up at the top as well for you. This is one I'm probably not going to go over in class unless I have time. I teach this as a lecture class too. And I find that speech anxiety, a lot of people have speech anxiety. So this chapter is a wonderful way to look at ways to deal with it. And then lecture 3 is a prep for the informative speech. Lecture 4 is a prep for the persuasive speech. And then I have a couple other extra ones that I'm not showing you right now that I didn't publish on. These are just up and above stuff from my lecture class in case we have time to give you more information. So that's the whole Canvas tour. Any questions about it? Like I said, the only thing wrong is that I don't have my sample outlines on here, and I should. So sometimes Canvas glitches things. So you got to be careful about that. But before I move on from here, any questions on this? All right, let's get on to our syllabus. So this is the syllabus. So I have 6 of these sections. You're the first one, as you see. And for you, this is you can always get the Zoom link from Zoom link on Canvas, but if you ever have to manually get in there, like on another device or something, this is the Zoom meeting ID. And we are supposed to only be on Zoom today and next week, but I just don't know. All right, so then the last one here is my office hours. And my office hours are at the end of Fridays from 3 to 4:30 p.m. And my office hours will be on Zoom this week and next week. And if we go back to campus after that, I'll be in person in my office doing these office hours. And again, this is the Zoom ID for my office hours on Zoom. Okay, so here's information on me. My name. So my last name rhymes with Biden, the president. It's Ziden. It's not spelled the same way as his, but it rhymes. So if you want it, you need to pronounce my name correctly. Think of President Biden and think of it with a Z, Ziden. That's how you pronounce my name. So you can call me Professor Ziden. And I'm an otaku, as you'll learn next week. So if you want, you can call me Ziden Sensei. But either Professor Ziden or Ziden Sensei would be great. So office Zoom meeting ID for, okay. All right, so my office, I didn't put it in here, but it's in Mendocino Hall, and it's on the 5th floor. And I will get you that information ASAP. I don't even know what office I'm actually in because I haven't been to campus for 2 years. So, because I've been doing it all on Zoom. But what's really important is here's my email. Please feel free to email me anytime about any concerns you have. Here's my email right here. And again, my office hours, Fridays 3 to 4:30, and Zoom ID for those until we are in person. And then I'll be in my office in Mendocino on the 5th floor, which is 2 floors above our classroom in Mendocino. All right, so this is a general education class. And it's one that you have to take either COMS 4 or COMS 5 to graduate. Every single student in the whole university, regardless of their major, has to get a C or better in this class to graduate. So this class, COMS 4, Introduction to Public Speaking, teaches the theory and technique of public speaking. And so you're going to learn how to organize, support, and clearly state your ideas. And we're going to be going over informative speeches, persuasive speeches. These are the 2 major kinds of speeches there are. You're going to be speaking a total of 22 minutes, not in one speech, but over the course of really 4 speeches. Your ungraded introductory speech next week, and then your how-to speech, your informative speech, and persuasive speech thereafter. And so this is what you're going to be doing in this class. You're going to be learning to construct and deliver a variety of sustained, ordered, informative, and persuasive oral messages demonstrating a rhetorical understanding of how situational elements invite and constrain verbal rhetorical responses. And so you're going to learn about organizational structure. You're going to learn about researching and citing sources. And you're also going to learn about evaluating your sources. And you're also going to learn about how to evaluate other people's public speaking. And so this satisfies the area A1 oral communication That is the gen ed that this is for. And so, again, this is another list of what you're going to be doing. I really pretty much already covered this. And so this is a hybrid class. Now, right now, we're a hybrid in a way this didn't mean to be hybrid. Let me try to explain. This class, when it's not on Zoom because of COVID, is hybrid because we meet only for one class a week. But in a normal lecture class, you're meeting usually 3 times a week or 2 times a week. Or if you meet once a week in a lecture class, it's a 3-hour class. So the reason this is hybrid is because those other 2 hours a week, you need to be spending in your e-text, because there's a lot of videos and text in the e-text. And so that's what you'd be doing the other 2 hours a week, is reading your e-text, watching the videos in there. That's what hybrid means in this. There are also lecture versions of this class, which is a regular class. You meet 3 hours a week. I lecture every chapter to you. This is not what this is. That you're going to be getting from your e-text. We're going to be meeting here once a week, and mainly we're going to be doing the speeches, and I'm going to be grading your speeches, and I will be guiding you through the whole thing. You know, you're not just going to be in here not knowing what to do. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to hold your hand through every single step of this, okay? But what we're doing in the classroom mainly is you're giving speeches. So you have to make sure you spend that other 2 hours a week for COMS 4 reading your e-text. Okay, that helps you prepare for all these speeches, and you take the exams in there and all of that. So it's saying basically the same thing I just said. There are 3 units in your e-text. The first unit is unit 1, which is just the overall structure of good public speaking. Unit 2 is getting accurate information across in the public square. And unit 3 is persuading others, about persuasive speaking. And so there are deadlines for everything in this class, even though you have the freedom to read the e-text whenever you want. You can do it at 2 in the morning. You can do it on a Saturday. That's the flexibility of the hybrid class. But you are held to the same deadlines. And so it's really a lot more responsibility on your end to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do. So there are advantages, disadvantages to the hybrid. The advantage is you can listen to the lectures, like I said, anytime you want. Let's say you watch a video and you don't quite get it. You can watch that video over and over and over and over again. In a lecture, you don't, nor in an in-person lecture, you don't hear the professor, saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. If you don't understand it, you can ask a question, but this is just different. So now we're moving on to what you asked about, the e-text. Necessary materials. Now, this is really for the Zoom setup, as far as you will need a device like a laptop, desktop, tablet phone. You need broadband or Wi-Fi. You need a live webcam. That's if we end up somehow going Zoom for the whole semester. The way they have it set up right now, you're only going to need these for today and next week, unless it's changed. But no matter what, you're going to need to buy the textbook, and that's your homework for this week. The textbook is mandatory. It's not like, oh, gee, I might want to buy this textbook. You have to buy the textbook. It's not an option. But it's called Well-Behaved Words, The Art of Learning Exactly What You Want to Say and Teaching Your Words to Say Exactly That. I did not write it. And so there's 2 ways that you can obtain the e-textbook. One is you can go to the student bookstore and buy it. And what they're just going to be giving you is a number, an access code. For your money, they're going to give you an access code. Or the other way that you can get it is to go directly to this link right here and buy it. grlcontent.com. Click on purchase an access code, and then you choose our university. And then they're asking what text you want, and you choose, it's going to say Introduction to Public Speaking. That's the one you want. Click on that. And then you'll see the textbook title appear in a separate menu. Click the plus sign to the left of it to add it to your cart. Then click on checkout. Now, here's an important point. While you're doing this, it's going to ask you to enter your section number of COMS 4. And I need to make sure that you put the correct number. So your number is 3. You're section 3. So when it asks you for your section number, make sure you put section 3 in there, because I need to get your exam scores at the end of the semester from this. And it's going to be very crazy if you're not in the correct section, because I might not even see it. And you need those points. So just make sure you do that step correctly. Okay. So once you do that, you'll be able to get into the e-text. Here's another important thing. Because it's an e-text, if you have any technical issues, here's the information on how to contact the publisher of the e-text, which is Great Rivers. And so it has a link at the bottom where you can click and submit the help that, the request for help through email. But I recommend that you use their 24/7 helpline phone number. And it's right here, the 800-344-9051. That's 24 hours a day. So if you're trying to get through watching a lecture and it blinked out on you for some reason, you can call them and say, hey, can you help me? What's going on? I need to get through this. So there are some classroom rules. These are really talking about Zoom, but basically there's 2 setups. There's the Zoom setup and there's the in-person setup. So some of these refer to one or the other setup. So please have your camera turned on during class. This is for Zoom. Unless you step away to use the restroom or you're eating or drinking, but just let me know, because you have to do your speeches in front of a live audience. And if you do these on Zoom, I need faces in the little squares, okay? And then your volume needs to be muted when you're not speaking or asking me a question, because sometimes there's background noise in your house and it's really annoying to everyone else. This is for both. Don't chew gum or eat while you're actually giving your graded speech, because I will take points off for that. It's not professional. And always treat your classmates and me with kindness and respect. I will absolutely do the same for you. And so here's the course requirements. Keeping track of time, I'm losing time. There are 2 exams, the Unit 1 exam and the final exam. There's next week's speech is not graded. It's a short speech. It's just for us all to get to know each other and for you to get used to speaking without being graded. But there are 3 graded speeches after that. And for each of the graded speeches, you turn in a outline/works cited packet onto onto Canvas. And then after each speech, you need to write a short self-evaluation or buddy paper that has to be handed in on Canvas. So attendance is crucial. You are only here 1 day a week for 50 minutes. That's it. I need you here on that 1 day a week for your 50 minutes. It's not a big time commitment in class, but I need you to be here. It's very important that you are able to watch everyone's speeches, and it really will teach you an awful lot. So it's mandatory that you are in class. If there's an emergency, for some reason you can't make it, you need to email me ahead of time and let me know what's going on, okay? Now, each of you are going to have a scheduled speech date, and you must be here for your speech date to deliver your speech. That's a hard deadline for you. If there's some horrible emergency, let me know via email and we can try to make arrangements for you. It's not communicating with me that's going to cause you a disaster. As long as you stay with me, communicate with me, we can take care of anything that happens, okay? So this is just a little section on some resources for you on Canvas if you need. Here's like a link if you want to drop the class. Here's the official university grading policy. But if you need like academic advising, it's here. Or this is the IRT I was telling you about, the technical people. Here's support centers and programs. There's the reading and writing center if you need a little extra help with that. And here's student rights and responsibilities, just for the whole university. Grades. Okay, we are running out of time. So really what's important is this. There are 1,000 points total for your grade. There's no extra credit. So this is what you're working with, 1,000 points. And so the final examination is worth 80 points or 8% of this total grade. The Unit 1 exam, which is really your midterm basically, is worth 20 points or 2% of your grade. Your peer reviews, these papers, evaluation papers, are worth 10 points or 1% of your grade. Your how-to speech is worth 100 points or 10% of the grade. The outline packet that goes with it is worth 40 points or 4% of your grade. The second speech, informative speech, is worth 200 points or 20% of your grade, and its outline and works cited packet is worth 100 points or 10% of your grade. And the third speech, speech 3, is your persuasive speech. That's also worth 200 points, 20% of your grade. The outline packet, outline works cited for speech 3 is worth 250 points or 25% of your grade, 1/4 of your grade. So if you ever wanted to really keep track of what your grade is at all times, you would write your points into this worksheet. And then what you do is you look at the total amount of points at that point that we've had, and then add up the actual amount of points that you got on those assignments. And then you can do a math to see what percentage of the total amount of points we did so far did you get. And that'll tell you what grade you're on track with it at any given time. And this is how it shakes out. Remember, there's 1,000 points. So if you get 940 points or more, you get an A in the class. And I grade straight on points. I don't, oh, I'll give you 2 extra points because you're nice. I don't do that. I grade literally on the points. If you get 900 to 939 points, you get an A- in the class. If you get 880 to 899, you get a B+. 840 to 879, you get a B. 800 to 839, you get a B-. 780 to 799 is C+. 740 to 779 is a C. 700 to 739 is a C-. And beyond that, you need to take the class over again, because like I said, you need a C in order to pass. So it doesn't even matter if you're under that 700, you're going to have to take it again. I'm going to do my best to help you guys not have to do that, but it's really, 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 really up to you and your effort, whether you pass or not. But I'm going to do my best to guide you and encourage you all the way, okay? So here's where the schedule comes in. This is the part that you need to look at all the time. So we're all on Fridays. So the first week of the semester, that's today, the date. And we're doing welcome, syllabus, e-text, Canvas, and assignments. And I'm not getting a lecture 1 today, obviously. So next week, which is February 4th, we do the introductory speeches. And I'm going to start getting going on lecture 1, outlining and preparation for the first graded speech. The third week, which is, and this is when we're supposed to be going back to campus this day, right? On Friday, February 11th, I'll be giving you lecture 2 on delivery, and then we'll also be looking at some of your videos from the discussion board assignment there. And this is where it all happens, the 4th week. Friday, February 18th, this is where the letter of the alphabet I gave you comes in. And remember, you need to remember that letter. It's your letter for the whole semester. So if you got assigned letters G through N, you are giving your how-to speech on Friday, February 18th. And it also says by this point, you should have read all of Unit 1 in your e-text and take the Unit 1 exam. All right. So the next week, 5th week, Friday, February 25th, if your letters O to V, you're giving your speech that day. And that's the day where you're supposed to have your Unit 1 exam, your Unit 1 read, and your Unit 1 exam. You want to take that. The next week, which is the 6th week, Friday, March 4th, if your letter W through Z, you give your speech on this date. And again, Unit 1 completed, exam, so forth. So then we move into Unit 2. And this is the 7th week, Friday, March 11th. So again, G through L, boom, you're giving your second speech. What's going to happen though is during these 3 weeks when we're giving how-to speeches, I'm going to sneak in my lecture 3, which is how to prepare for the informative speech. And I will make sure, even if I have to take a little time away from the speeches, I'm going to give you that information so that you have a few weeks, couple of weeks to prepare for the informative speech. But there's no break between the two. You're going from one to the other. You're going to constantly be working on speeches. And so on this date, G through L will be giving their informative speeches. And this is when you're supposed to be reading Unit 2 in your e-text. On your scheduled speech day, that's the day that you need to hand in your outline for the speech, outline works cited. When we get to the 9th week, this is spring break, no class. And then we go right back into informative speeches, S through X, Y, and Z. We get into Unit 3, persuasive speech, G through L. Unit 3, you're reading Unit 3 of the e-text at this point. Then M through R, S through X, Y, and Z. And then we don't meet in the finals week. You take your final exam in your e-text. So I have 6 minutes left. I want to show you your e-text. Your e-text is here. This is what it looks like when you first go in. Now, it says right here, first time user with access code. You see this, folks? This is where you're putting the access code that you buy. All right. And then they'll take you through the sign in. And then after that, you'll end up with one of these logins. So the first time you're putting that access code in there. It's not going to look exactly like this because this is a professor version, but the book itself does look the same. So let me just tell you a couple things here. So this is what it looks like. And there's a few tabs here. So course information, this first one is good because it's a whole list of the chapters of these 3 units. So you can go here and click anywhere you want. Let's say you already read chapter 1 and now you're going back to read chapter 2. This is a fast way to get to it. But what you're really going to be doing is the second one, online content. And this is the real meat and potatoes. Oh, wait a second. We were on that. All right. This is what course information looks like. It's an introduction. I want to bring your attention here to the course final exam. And this is when you are going to be, where and when you're going to be taking your final exam for this class. Okay. And I will get into this more when we're close to the final exam, but I want you to know where it is. The other exam you have to take, the Unit 1 exam, is embedded into the textbook right after the last page of Unit 1. So I'll show you that. So here again, this is what I was trying, the online content. So let's say you've read all of Unit 1, you're at the end of Unit 1. And so let's say we skip into the very end of Unit 1, and you'll see there's lots of videos and text for you. You have to watch it all, read it all. So you're reading this, right? You're watching these, you're going next. And here's Unit 1 exam. All right. And so it says you have until February 7th is when you can first take it. And you can take it till May 13th, which is right before finals week. I highly advise you not to wait. Just take it when you're done with Unit 1 after your how-to speech, because finals week, you're going to be so busy. And if you have another exam you have to worry about of stuff you read months ago, that doesn't make any sense. Just get it done. And when you're ready to take it, you just click on begin your attempt. Okay? Any questions about the e-text? All right. The last thing I want to do today is have you guys get into your buddies. So hold on a second. Let's stop share. All right. All right. All right. So what we're doing now is before you leave, you're going to get into your buddies. So you can use the chat on the side. There's a pull down where you can write to anyone you want in the class directly. So what you need to do is choose somebody, anybody you want, and say, hey, would you be my buddy? And once you decide to be buddies, all you have to do is exchange your names, phone number, and email address. For today, that's all you're doing. Make sure you have that information. Each person has it for the other person. And once you have that, you are free to go. And I'll see you right here next week at this time. But you'll have your buddy